Welcome, curious minds, to Sci Discovery Chronicles. Today, we're embarking on a journey into the most complex and powerful organ in the known universe, your brain. And we're going to uncover a hidden force that profoundly shapes your life, your decisions, and ultimately, your destiny. It's a force often misunderstood, rarely discussed in these terms, and yet it dictates far more than you might imagine: the neuroscience of scarcity. When you hear the word scarcity, what comes to mind? Likely a lack of money, perhaps limited resources, or a tight budget. But here's the crucial insight. Scarcity is far more than just a financial state. It is a deep-seated cognitive condition, a lens through which we perceive the world, profoundly influencing every decision we make, every opportunity we see, and every path we choose. This is the scarcity mindset. And it doesn't just limit your finances, it constricts your time, strains your relationships, and hijacks your attention. Imagine feeling perpetually behind, always racing against the clock, or constantly worried about what you don't have. That, my friends, is the scarcity mindset at play. This isn't a modern affliction, it's an ancient one. Our brains evolved this capacity for intense focus on deficits as a survival mechanism, a primal alarm bell for when food was short or danger was near. But what happens when that primitive response meets the complexities of the 21st century? When our brains perceive scarcity, whether it's a real threat to survival or the more subtle stresses of a looming bill, a tight deadline, or social exclusion, a cascade of neurological events is triggered. The amygdala, our brain's ancient alarm system, springs into action, flooding our bodies with stress hormones. Simultaneously, the prefrontal cortex, the seat of our executive function, our long-term planning and rational thought, becomes impaired. Think of it like this. When the house is on fire, you don't stop to balance your checkbook. You focus entirely on the immediate threat. This is what neuroscientists call cognitive tunneling. Scarcity narrows our focus to the immediate problem, making it incredibly difficult to see the bigger picture, to plan for the future, or to spot long-term opportunities. Recent neuroimaging studies, particularly those conducted since 2020, have provided astonishing insights, showing distinct and measurable brain activity in individuals experiencing chronic resource deprivation. Their brains literally light up differently, revealing a sustained state of alarm and a reduced capacity for complex problem solving. It's a vivid illustration of how our brain's primitive response to dwindling resources can actually trap us. This prolonged state of scarcity doesn't just affect our decision-making in the short term, it literally rewires our brains. Chronic scarcity can lead to structural and functional changes in key brain areas, particularly those responsible for executive function, memory, and impulse control. It's not just a feeling, it's a physical alteration. And here's where it gets even more profound. This scarcity mindset can be passed down through generations. Parental stress and resource limitations can epigenetically influence their offspring, literally shaping the brain's blueprint before birth. This isn't about blaming individuals, it's about understanding the deep neurobiological loops that make escaping poverty not just a financial challenge, but a neurological one. Imagine trying to make optimal decisions when your brain is constantly in crisis mode, its capacity for foresight and planning compromised. It paints a stark yet crucial picture of the poverty trap, a cycle where neurobiological responses to scarcity perpetuate the very conditions that created them. But here's the hopeful, empowering truth. Our brains are not static. They are incredibly adaptable, capable of change and growth, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. We can actively rewire for abundance. The first step is embracing a growth mindset, a powerful counter to the scarcity mindset. This isn't just wishful thinking, it's a neurological intervention. By adopting practices that promote abundance, we can strengthen the neural pathways associated with prosperity. Consider mindfulness. By bringing awareness to the present moment, we can quiet the amygdala's alarms and give our prefrontal cortex room to breathe. Gratitude practices shift our focus from what we lack to what we have, literally enhancing positive neural circuits. Intentional decision-making, where we consciously choose long-term benefits over immediate gratification, can build resilience in our executive functions. Fascinating new research even suggests that financial literacy education can specifically target and enhance prefrontal cortex function, improving long-term financial planning abilities. It's proof that education isn't just about knowledge, it's about shaping our brain's capacity for prosperity. Breaking the cycle of scarcity requires both individual action and systemic understanding. First, identify your own scarcity triggers. What situations, thoughts, or feelings plunge you into that narrow, desperate focus? Once identified, you can begin to mitigate their impact. Practice small, consistent changes. Dedicate even a few minutes each day to mindfulness. Keep a gratitude journal, or make one intentional, long-term financial decision, no matter how small. These seemingly minor shifts accumulate, gradually reshaping your neurobiological landscape. While the wiring of our brains for scarcity is a powerful, deeply ingrained mechanism, it is not an unbreakable blueprint. We possess the remarkable capacity to understand, adapt, and ultimately to rewire our own minds. The science is clear. We have the power to create a future not defined by what we lack, but by the boundless possibilities of true prosperity. The journey from scarcity to abundance begins within. What steps will you take to rewrite your brain's story? Let us know in the comments below. If this deep dive into the neuroscience of scarcity and prosperity sparked your curiosity, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Sci Discovery Chronicles for more captivating explorations, and share it with anyone ready to unlock their brain's true potential. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep rewiring your world.